It's 3 a.m. somewhere on Earth, right now, and a man is lying perfectly still in the dark, staring at a ceiling he has memorized. His body is exhausted. His mind will not stop. He is doing everything correctly. Lights off, phone away, room cool, and none of it matters. He is awake, and he doesn't know why. Most people assume sleep is simple. You get tired, you lie down, you sleep. That's the story we tell ourselves. It isn't true. Sleep is not a passive shutdown. It's an active negotiation your body has been running since before you were born, and somewhere along the way, for millions of people, that negotiation breaks down. To understand why, you have to go back to something most people have never thought about. Sleep is not one switch. It's two systems fighting. One is a clock. The other is a chemical flood. The clock is your circadian rhythm, a roughly 24-hour cycle, synchronized by light hitting a tiny cluster of cells behind your eyes, in a structure with an almost bureaucratic name, the suprachiasmatic nucleus. It tells your body when it should be tired, based on the sun. The flood is something else entirely. Every hour you're awake, a molecule called adenosine builds up in your brain, like sediment settling at the bottom of a glass. The longer you stay awake, the deeper it accumulates. By the time you're ready for bed, you're not just tired because it's late. You are chemically saturated with the need to stop. In a healthy system, these two forces arrive together. The clock says now. The chemistry agrees. Sleep happens almost without permission. But here is the unsettling part, the part most people never learn. These two systems can desynchronize. And when they do, your body doesn't simply fail to sleep. It forgets how. That phrase sounds like an exaggeration. It isn't. In 2002, sleep researchers studying chronic insomnia made an observation that didn't fit the existing model. These weren't people who were merely anxious or stimulated or stressed before bed. Their brains, when scanned at night, showed something stranger: elevated metabolic activity in regions that should have gone quiet, areas tied to vigilance, threat monitoring, and predictive anticipation. Their brains were behaving as though sleep itself were the danger. Sit with that for a moment. Not the bed, not the dark, not the silence. The act of letting go. This is where the story stops being biological and becomes something closer to psychological horror. Sleep requires your brain to relinquish control, to stop monitoring the room, stop monitoring the body, stop monitoring the future. For most of human history, that surrender was dangerous. Every sleeping human was, for 8 hours, blind and defenseless in a world with predators, fire, rival tribes, falling temperatures. Evolution did not build a brain that surrenders easily. It built a brain that surrenders conditionally, only when it judges the environment safe enough to risk unconsciousness. Which means insomnia, in many cases, is not a malfunction. It's a judgment. Your nervous system, somewhere beneath language, has concluded that letting go right now is not safe. And once that judgment is made, even a few nights in a row, something far stranger happens. The bed itself becomes the threat. This is called conditioned arousal, and it's one of the most quietly devastating mechanisms in human physiology. The brain doesn't just associate stress with the original stressor, the deadline, the breakup, the diagnosis. It associates stress with the place where the stress was felt: the mattress, the pillow, the exact angle of street light through the blinds. So the original danger disappears. The job is over. The relationship has ended. The crisis has resolved. But the body never received that memo, because the body wasn't keeping track of the event. It was keeping track of the bed. And now, every night, lying down triggers the same low-grade alarm that the original crisis once did. For a threat that no longer exists. You are not failing to fall asleep. You are succeeding at a threat response, just pointed at the wrong target, for no reason your conscious mind can override. This is the part that should unsettle you. Insomnia is rarely a sleep problem. It's a learning problem. Your body learned something true once, and it has refused to unlearn it since. And the longer this continues, the more the second system, the clock, begins to drift as well. Light is the primary signal that keeps your circadian rhythm anchored to the 24-hour day. But a person lying awake at 3 a.m., scrolling, working, worrying, is often also flooding their eyes with artificial light at exactly the moment biology expects darkness. The clock starts receiving contradictory instructions. Is it day? Is it night? The signal blurs. Researchers studying shift workers, people forced to invert their sleep against the sun for years, found something that should concern anyone who assumes sleep loss is merely an inconvenience. Chronic circadian disruption doesn't just cause tiredness. It correlates with measurable changes in metabolic regulation, immune function, and long-term cardiovascular risk. The body, it turns out, does not consider sleep optional. It considers sleep structural, a process as fundamental to maintenance as the rhythm of a heartbeat. Disrupt it long enough, and you are not just gambling with how alert you feel tomorrow. You are gambling with how well your tissues repair, how accurately your immune system distinguishes friend from threat, how cleanly your brain clears its own metabolic waste while you're unconscious. That last detail deserves a pause. While you sleep, your brain undergoes something close to a nightly cleaning cycle, cerebrospinal fluid washing through brain tissue, helping clear metabolic byproducts that accumulate during waking hours, including proteins implicated in long-term neurodegenerative decline. Sleep, in other words, is not the absence of activity. It is one of the most biologically active things your body does. The danger was never being unconscious. The danger, evolution decided long ago, was being unconscious in an unsafe place. The body just never updated its definition of unsafe. So now the picture widens. This isn't really a story about insomnia. It's a story about a body running ancient software in a modern environment it was never designed to interpret, a nervous system built for firelight and total darkness, now negotiating with phone screens, jet lag, late-night deadlines, and a culture that treats exhaustion as a badge of productivity. A body that once decided, correctly, that a predator nearby meant do not sleep, now applying that same logic to a glowing rectangle on a nightstand. And here is the question that should follow you out of this video, long after it ends. If your body can learn to fear sleep, quietly, gradually, without your permission, what else has it learned to fear that you've never noticed? What other ordinary, harmless moments has your nervous system quietly filed away as dangerous, simply because they once stood beside something painful? Sleep was never the mystery. You were.